One can only dream when it comes to their favorite band, or bands, that no longer perform together will reunite to make more musical memories. In some cases, the chances are pretty good, just look at Oasis, while others seem more like pipe dreams. Here's our list of 20 musical acts, featuring a majority of members from a classic lineup, we'd like to see play together again. This legendary Swedish pop quartet got together as recently as 2022, but in 2024, squashed any plans of another reunion of any length. With members Agnetha Faltskog, Björn Ulvaeus, Benny Andersson and Annie Frid Lyngstad all in their 70s, even a one-off or another brief residency would be well worth the time for fans, and would certainly make the band a lot of money. Country music's 17 most iconic one-hit wonders. Okay, technically, Aerosmith has not broken up, just retired from touring due to Steven Tyler's continued vocal issues. That said, if by some chance Tyler is able to recuperate well enough to take the stage and restart, and eventually finish, the band's recently cancelled farewell tour, it would truly be something special. Aerosmith has always been a resilient band, and perhaps it has one more run left. For the last year or so, there has been a healthy amount of scuttlebutt regarding the possibility of reuniting the classic Sabbath lineup of Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler and Bill Ward. While Osbourne and Ward aren't in the best of health, any Sabbath reunion would not be that of any extended duration. Perhaps a one-time deal, a few songs set where these four could pop up at a festival or special occasions of some sort. Heavy metal's 25 most legendary guitarists. One of the most talked about acts when it comes to reunions, Daft Punk continues to be talked about by fans. However, the French duo of Thomas Bangalter and Guy-Manuel de Homem Christo that makes up the legendary electronica outfit has never really catered to any of the rumors of that happening. Even the recent Paris Summer Olympic Games couldn't draw the boys back to the stage, which could very well have been the highlight of the two-week event. In 2023, LaToya Luckett, Latavia Roberson, Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams met up with Beyoncé at the latter's stop in Houston on her Renaissance World Tour. It was one of the most notable entertainment moments of the year, even though the former members of the Grammy Award-winning group haven't performed in any real noteworthy capacity. It's uncertain if any, some or all of these artists, or fellow former member Farrah Franklin, would ever seriously entertain a full-blown Destiny's Child reunion. Of course, many fans can hope. 20 TV shows that feature glaring continuity errors. One of the great supergroups of all time, The Firm, which featured former Free and Bad Company singer Paul Rodgers, legendary guitarist Jimmy Page, prominent bassist Tony Franklin and Manfred Mann's Chris Slade, released 2 studio records in the mid-1980s. Today, Page seems up for anything, however, health issues have plagued Rodgers in recent years. Still, it would something special for classic rock fans to relive the magic of the short-lived but highly appreciated rock outfit. One of the most influential bands on both the punk and alternative rock scenes, Washington, D.C.'s Fugazi put out 6 studio albums from 1990 to 2001. Picking up where the likes of U.S. punk pioneers like Minor Threat, which featured Fugazi's Ian MacKaye, picked up the post-hardcore torch. However, the band has been on what's been called an indefinite hiatus since 2003. MacKaye and fellow former bandmates Guy Picciotto, Joe Lally and Brendan Canty are still alive and some have even played together, though a full Fugazi reunion remains a dream. 20 TV show deaths we still haven't gotten over. This is one reunion hope that has never really gone away after the rock giants disbanded in 1980 after the death of drummer John Bonham. As classic rock fans know, surviving members Robert Plant, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, along with the late Bonham's son, Jason, got together in late 2007 for the famed Ahmet Ertegun tribute concert in London. Since then, though, nothing has materialized in terms of another reunion, even while all 3 original members, and Jason Bonham, continue to work and play quite frequently. Justin Timberlake might have his own issues, but it appears a full NSYNC reunion could happen. When? Who knows? When all 5 members of the popular boy band came together to present at the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards, it not only sent Taylor Swift into a tizzy, but naturally sparked rumors of a reunion. However, Timberlake, Joey Fatone, Lance Bass, Chris Kirkpatrick and J.C. Chasez had already reunited to work on the single, Better Place, from the Trolls Band Together soundtrack. Maybe we'll learn more before 2024 comes to an end. 20 facts you might not know about The Hangover. Staying on the topic of boy bands, This Simon Cowell creation, which brought the pop world Harry Styles, went on hiatus in 2015, but the rumors of its return never really stopped. In 2021, it was reported that Styles, along with former bandmates Louis Tomlinson, Niall Horan, Liam Payne and Zayn Malik, had talked at various times about the band's future and a possible reunion. If that were to happen, the frenzy from back in the day might still be there. Big Boy, Antoine Patton, and Andre 3000, Andre Benjamin, have not performed together as Outkast since 2014. So, it's understandable that more than a decade later, the clamor for a reunion remains strong. One of the most successful and influential hip-hop acts of all time, the belief is that there has been enough time for the two to come together and do something together, without the rigors and pressures to succeed that ultimately led to the duo's hiatus. We'll see. 25 actors who play characters you love to hate. Just imagine if the Police decided to give another reunion a go. It would certainly be among the hottest tickets of the year, and could seriously challenge Oasis in popularity. However, it seems Sting, Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers still have no intention for getting together, whether it be a one-off performance or an extended tour. Sting continues to play often, and even teamed with his own trio recently. Meanwhile, Copeland and Summers have been quick to shut down any chances of a reunion. In June 2024, Michael Stipe, Mike Mills, Peter Buck and Bill Berry came together to perform the 1991 classic, Losing My Religion, at the Songwriters Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It had been 13 years since REM called it quits and 15 from the last time the band played live. This one-off was a reminder how special REM was, even in the members' current state of musical prowess. Of course, no more will come of that moment, but it's always fun to hope that fans can one day relive the complete live REM experience. 23 TV characters who disappeared into thin air. It feels like forever since that memorable July 4, 1991 day when the Replacements played what turned out to be their final show for more than 3 decades, and did so with its roadies finishing the set. The death of lead guitarist Bob Stinson has made a reunion of the classic lineup no longer possible, but half-brother Tommy Stinson and singer-guitarist Paul Westerberg last played as the Replacements in 2015, and it would be wonderful for them to make another go-around. Now, this would be fun. While Jenny Lewis has certainly kept busy and built a highly successful career as an indie rock darling, there still seems to be some unfinished business when it comes to one of her former bands. As recently as 2023, Lewis said she would be open to reunite with Blake Sennett, Pierre de Reeder, and Dave Rock as Rilo Kiley, the LA indie rock outfit that put out 4 acclaimed studio albums from 2001 to 2007. It would make sense, since the band still has a healthy cult following that would be over the moon for a chance to hear and see the gang back together. 20 celebrities who are true deadheads. When we talk the Sex Pistols, we mean Johnny Rotten. Of course, at the moment, getting famed frontman Rotten, John Lydon, back together with former bandmates Steve Jones, Paul Cook and Glenn Matlock, is about as likely as the dinosaurs returning to Earth, even for one performance or one song. But, it would be fun to see them together, even if the result is off-key or ugly. Because the band was all about dysfunction and unconformity. The more brutal the better, we say. For years, and we mean since roughly 1996, hard rock fans have been begging for a reunion between Skid Row and playfully mesmerizing frontman Sebastian Bach. While Bach has long said he would reunite with the group his piercing voice made famous, it appears there remain business issues that prevent that from happening. Both parties have remained consistently active when it comes to making music and touring, but there are plenty of fans holding out hope that the classic Skid Row lineup will again hit the stage. 20 movies that did the work to be scientifically accurate. While there is still plenty of time for drama to surround the Oasis reunion, the Smiths have served as a tasty appetizer when it comes to that kind of controversy. Word on the street was that famed frontman Morrissey was on board with the Smiths getting together for a 2025 tour. However, former bandmate and guitarist Johnny Marr reportedly said no to the idea, though there continue to be conflicting reports as to what really happened and why a reunion of these moody Manchester rockers won't happen at the moment. Another legendary band that remains rather cordial with one another as times passed, but likely will never see the stage together again. David Byrne, Chris Frantz, Tina Weymouth and Jerry Harrison did meet up in June 2024 to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Talking Heads' highly lauded 1984 concert film Stop Making Sense. However, it doesn't seem any plans for a reunion is in the cards. The husband-wife duo of Frantz and Weymouth have never stopped playing, while Byrne has always been the wild card since the group's breakup in 1991. 20 accidental movie filming mishaps that were left in the final cut. The closest fans might get to a musical reunion between Jack and Meg White might have passed, when the two were named in a lawsuit against Donald Trump for using the duo's anthem, Seven Nation Army, on the campaign trail. The two haven't played under the moniker since 2011, and Meg has essentially retired from being a rock star. Jack, meanwhile, continues to perform successfully as a solo artist and with other musicians. Should the two ever return to the stage together, it would certainly be one hot ticket. Did you enjoy this slideshow?